Hey guys, it's Ryan. I wanted to not only just say I hope that you have a happy Sunday evening, but I also want to wish everybody, including my own father, happy Father's Day. Today's a day where we dedicate the special men in our lives who aren't simply fathers, but because they're special, we call them dads. There's an old saying where it says, anybody can be a father. It takes a special person to be a dad. First and foremost, I want to talk about my dad, what he means to me, and what he's done for me in my life. So, my dad, he grew up pretty much in a single parent household because his father unfortunately passed away when he was about 4 years old. Basically, wrong place at the wrong time, from what I understand. And despite my dad not having a father growing up, I know he did a pretty dang good job in raising us with the help of my mom. Now my dad, he often worked a lot growing up. I mean, there was a time where he worked 2 jobs at one point, where he was working full-time at RDS as a service technician, service manager, whatever. And then he was a mechanic on the side at Amoco. And the reason why he worked so much is so that he could provide for his family. Because he had 3 kids to raise, he had a wife to help support and take care of. And I know, again, he didn't do this all by himself. He had my mom to help out too. But they had acquired so many bills and whatnot. I think part of it's due to me because when I was born with cleft lip, cleft palate. I was in and out of the hospital. Sisters had some things going on too, I'm sure, growing up. But, I mean, he was a man of the house. He had to make a choice. Either let everything crumble or basically stand up, be a man, and take care of what you gotta do. Because my dad believes this. If you are responsible for bringing somebody into the world, you're also responsible for not only looking after them, but in raising them and to guiding them into the right way. And yes, my dad and I have had a fair share of talks throughout the years. Some of them were good talks, some of them were hard talks, some of them were meaningful talks. Believe any interaction that I've ever had with my dad was a great interaction, whether it be good, bad, sad, mad, otherwise. Everything that we talked about had meaning behind it, and I appreciate that. And what I've also come to know, realize, recognize, and appreciate about my father is he didn't let the fact that he didn't have a father growing up hinder him or stop him from being the man that he knows that God wanted him to be. See, my sister Danny and I were talking about this 2 or 3 months ago, how he's done a lot for us, again with my mom's help. And she said in the conversation that I remember very vividly, she considers my dad a saint. And I remember writing in the card today, which is funny because my eldest sister and I both got my dad the same card. It says, here's a card from the good kid. Inside it says, just kidding, it's me. We just have a good sense of humor, whatnot. But in the card, I talked about, if you're a saint, then I must be a sinner, because that is true. My dad has done more for us throughout our lifetimes than we have done for him. You want to talk about displaying Christ's love? That's what my dad does. I mean, there have been a handful of times where, as an adult child, I have screwed up. And I can admit that I am a deeply flawed individual. Yet my father still loves me. One of my sisters got into a heap of trouble. Instead of judging her, you know what he did? He welcomed her into his house with arms wide open. Another sister, many years ago, she was in a car accident. And she knew she did wrong. She owned up to it. She did what she needed to do. And my dad still welcomed her into his home with arms wide open. You tell me that that's not an example of Christ's love? Then you don't know who Christ is. Christ, he loved everyone. He didn't care if you were poor, rich, sick, healthy. He didn't care if you were a sinner, if you were a tax collector, a prostitute. He loved you regardless. And that's what I respect, love, and appreciate about my Father. He's able to look past our flaws and accept us anyway. Now, many people will say they have the best father in the world, best dad in the world. I don't believe that. Because y'all can't hold a candle to my father. My father is a good dude. And I will argue that until the day that I die. He is an amazing person. He has done anything and everything he can for his children. Which makes me pray even harder as an adult child that when he and my mom get ready to retire, I hope, I pray, I beg to God that he does everything that he can to provide for my father and my mother as they retire. Because they have done things for us. I cannot express how grateful I am for that man in my life. And you know what? If and when I get married, I can guarantee you he's gonna be up there by my side. Because if I consider any person, any man, let alone whether they're close to me or not, if I consider any person my best friend, it has to be my dad. Because I go to him for anything and everything. Whether it's for advice, whether it's for help. And you know what? He's always there. He doesn't have to do any of that. And you know what? I don't deserve any of that help. But because of who he is, and how much he loves us, and how much he's willing to sacrifice for each and every one of us. Not just his children, but his wife, his grandchildren, his family, his brothers, his sister. He is willing to do anything and everything he can to help out. Even though he doesn't have to. That is a true example of what Christ would do. You often ask yourself, what would Jesus do? And I think about, what would Dad do? One of the things that we had talked about 2 or 3 months ago, we had a heart-to-heart conversation downstairs in the den where he hangs out. He uses that as a spot to watch Jeopardy, 48 Hours, whatever you want to do it. He also surfs the internet on that. We had a really deep heart-to-heart conversation. It was difficult for me to even talk about with him because it was more so what I felt than anybody else. And I knew that if I wanted to approach my father, I want to do it with love. I don't want to do it in anger, don't want to do it in spite of anything. And he had brought something to my attention. If you guys do not like the way that I approach things, the way that I guide you, the way that I take care of you, the way that I speak to you in truth and love, then stop screwing up. That was a hard pill to swallow. You know why? Because it's true. Why is it that anytime children in general, not just his children, but people in general, whenever they screw up, the first people they go to are their mom and dad? Is it because we know that they can't say no to us? Or is it because They might feel guilty if they say no. I feel like right now more than ever, we should take this time to show how much we appreciate our parents. Not just our dad today, but our parents in general. Especially if they spent their entire lifetime that you've known them, for however many years that you've known them, that you've lived underneath their house. They spent that much time investing their love, their money, their time, their energy in building you up and raising you. You should take their words seriously. You should show appreciation. You should listen to them. They're not doing it. They're not telling you things to hurt you. They're doing things to help you. Again, this is a hard pill for me to swallow, because there's a lot of things that we have talked about that have cut deeply. It's only to help me. One of the biggest lessons, best lessons I should say, that my dad ever taught me was to be a professional in every single thing you do. And how you handle yourself, and how you do your work, and how you treat others. Be a professional. I haven't always lived up to that, and I know that. And because of that, because I wasn't professional, I've been fired from a job. Fired from 2 jobs. But had I not gone through that experience, I wouldn't realize the lesson that I'm supposed to learn in that. So show appreciation for your dads. Dad, I love you and I thank you. I appreciate you for everything that you've ever done for me. And you say that I spoil you and Mom? You're damn right I do. You guys deserve it for everything that you've done for us. And that you continue to do, even though you don't have to, you choose to do it. So thank you. I also want to send this special message, special shout out to the other dads. There have been many men throughout my life that I have looked up to. Whether they were my friends' dads, whether they were teachers, coaches, professors, elders within the church, pastors, you name it, that's what I'm talking about. Had it not been for those men, I believe I wouldn't be who I am today. Whether I got to know them through the music industry, got to know them through teaching, got to know them through the church, got to know them through social interactions, just getting to know these people, knowing their hearts, who they are, and everything that they've done for me is just ridiculous, and I appreciate them. Again, I don't deserve anything that they've ever done for me in my life, but by God's grace, they've treated me well. For example, I'm going to brag on my youth pastor real quick here. Pastor Jordan Lombard. He was my youth pastor at First Church of the Open Bible in 85 Youth Ministry. He's one of the men that I consider responsible for encouraging me and for leading me into wanting to be part of the church, be a leader within the church, to be a pastor. Very thankful for him. And you know what this dude did? He not only bought me a student Bible to help me learn and understand the Word, he bought me an NIV Bible for my graduation gift in high school. He not only did that, but this dude paid for my way to go to a youth conference, which changed my life. As Breakaway, and I believe Breakaway was in 2008? No, I think it was 2007, 2008, but it was a memorable experience. Not only did Pastor Jordan do that for me, but he paid for Bible camp my junior year. These are the things that I love and appreciate about that man. He's being the man that he didn't have to be. And I appreciate that. And I thank him for that. That's why you get a special shout out, man. Give another special shout out to my current pastor, Dylan Doze. This dude reignited a flame within me to continue to pursue what God had called me and created me to do, to be a pastor. Yes, I'm scared, but this dude, he's inspired me to go after it again. I've told him everything that I could possibly tell you that I'm even afraid of. I'm afraid of pursuing it because it requires a 360 life change. That means that I had to give up a lot of things. Alcohol, lust, and all this other fun stuff. But I know it's all worth it in the end. And I appreciate that dude. Dude has an amazing heart. He's great with his wife. He is great with his kids. And again, this dude is a dude that had taught me you should not live in the world of shoulds. You should live in the world of how can I help you. I appreciate that. Because it's changing my lifestyle, changing my perspective, and how I see and view other people. And for that, I appreciate you, Dylan. Thank you. And since we're talking about men who didn't have to be fathers, but they chose to, I want to give a special shout out to my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, Larry. I've only known this dude for about 5 to 6 years. At first, didn't think much of him, but as the years went on, I've seen the kind of man he is. And what he's done, not only to bring my sister happiness, but what he's done to bring my niece happiness. I love that. This dude stepped into my niece's life when she didn't have a father. She has a father now, and praise God, only by God's glory and by God's grace, as her biological father came back into her life. And I pray that their relationship continues to grow stronger from here on out. But I want to thank Larry for what he's done. You're a good dude. I appreciate you. Because you're able to step into a situation that you really have no business being in, but you didn't care because your heart saw a need for a child that needs a dad. And for that, I thank you. I thank you for being some of a support to her. Now you're just additional support, but you're still the primary in my eyes. For that, thank you. Thank you for being the dad you didn't have to be for her. And then the last bit of this is for the guys who want to be fathers, but because of some circumstance they can't. Whether it's legal troubles, whether they're incarcerated, whether for whatever reason they passed away. My heart and my prayer for you is that you would be able to reunite with your children if you still have that opportunity. My other prayer for you is that if it's something due to court-related issues or criminal offenses or anything like that, I pray that God would provide you with the resources you need to help you become the person He created you to be. That's my prayer for you. And for the people, for the guys who have children that want nothing to do with your children, rather than shame you, point my finger at you, and do any of that, I pray that you would have a change of heart. Pray that you would realize how precious life is, and how precious it is to see something that you helped create grow into something remarkable, and to see them go through those changes, see them experience life in a different viewpoint. I pray for you. whatever you're feeling right now, pray that you would put that aside. Whether it's hate toward the baby mama, hate toward somebody else, pray that you would let bygones be bygones and you would be the dad that you were created to be, that you were intended to be. And lastly, I know I've probably said that a few times, I want to pray for the women, for single parents, because either their man wants nothing to do with their child, their man died, passed away, or something happened and he's just no longer in the picture. I want to thank you for stepping it up and playing two different roles. Not only were you doing what you could as a nurturer, as a mom, but you're also being a disciplinary and you're showing them how to do that. But I know it's not enough to say thank you for all that you do. If I could hug each and every one of you, I would. Because being a single parent, being a single mom, being a single dad, what have you, that's a hard job. And you should be showing appreciation for everything that you are doing. So thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you for your ministry. And I pray that God continues to bless you and that God continues to do good works in you and through you. Because you deserve it. Thank you guys for listening to what I have to say. Again, happy Father's Day to my father, Dan. Happy Father's Day to my grandpa, my uncles, my friends who are dads. I hope and pray that you all have a great day. You take it easy, you rest. Know that I love you, that you are loved. Be blessed, stay blessed. May peace be with you. Have a great day.